Hello, hello, happy weekend, everybody. I hope we are having a blessed weekend. I hope everybody's doing good, good, good. So we're going to just give a few minutes for everybody to receive the notification. Then we're going to get started. We own no copyright infringement for this song. It's just a song I love from Messi. Children. No copyright infringement intended. So guys, let's know where you're watching and connecting from. Rising of the sun to the setting of the sun. Thank you. I come in. From the rising of the sun to the setting of the sun. No copyright infringement intended. Hey, to the setting of the sun. So we encourage you that as you connect, do a due diligence to share with loved ones and talk with anyone you want to be encouraged. Oh, good morning, good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing good, good, good. Hey. Okay, welcome in everybody. How is everyone doing today? Welcome in everybody. Oh, sorry. Okay. How is everyone doing today? I hope everybody's doing well and we're having a restful and happy weekend. So, if you're new to this family, We are here every Saturday, and I'm honored to be the host of today. So, in case you didn't notice, it's a family of amazing people that we come together to shine a light. So, yes, my name is Lucy Abini, aka Brightest Lou. So, I think if you're watching on Facebook, you should be seeing Brightest Lou. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be seeing Brightest Light. It's just the same thing. Brightest Lou, brightest light. It's Lucy's light. So I just believe every one of us is a light, and I encourage us all to keep shining our lights. And that's why we share these topics, and that's why we have these conversations. Sometimes we get so busy in life, we get so carried with what we are doing, and we even sometimes forget who we are. We even forget what we are doing or what we're supposed to be doing. So this is hello, welcome in ABP. Wow, ABP from Kribi. Happy to have you with us. So we sometimes are carried with the things we want to achieve, the places we want to go, and we lost our identity. We don't just forget, we totally lost our identity. So it's based on that because I once been in that position, like I didn't know if I was myself or I was someone else. So taking back some time to reflect, so that's how I came up with this program, like every Saturday, just for us to remind ourselves who we are, what we are doing, where we are going, and what is happening. Even when things are going good, someone said if things are going good, be motivated. If things are not still going the way you are, still be. Thank you, Natalie, for connecting, my sister. Thank you. So someone said even when things are not going good, you should also stay positive. So that gives you hope because it was good sometimes. That should give you hope that it's going to be better. So no matter where you find yourself, there's always that need of being positive and still identifying who you are, where you're going, and what really it's your purpose on earth. What even is your purpose where you are? Because sometimes we take for granted where we find ourselves because personally I've understood that wherever a human being find him or herself is for a reason. Sometimes the things you learn is not for you. I mean, of us can agree. And there's some things you learn or some things you experience that you didn't know somebody was going to need that information. You just felt like, oh, I was passing, let me pass my time here, or I don't even like what I'm doing, or you just like then bam, in no time you see someone popping up needing help with what you just experienced or what you just went through or what you just studied. So, if, for example, you're a medical doctor, most of the time you're attending to people's needs, right? People's health issues. It's not your own health issues or your family, and sometimes you can't even help yours. So that's just the way I see life. Like whatever you're going through, if you understand that you're a light, and the light is not always just for yourself; it's also for people who are walking around you, behind you, ahead of you. They still need that light to work better. So, with that being said, today we're talking about basically the importance of self-discovery and self-development, which I know is a topic that every person who is purpose-driven or intentional would definitely love to always revisit. Not just know, but revisit like, what is my purpose? What do I need to work on? So, if you're above, by the way, let me start by saying that if you're above 20 years and you still see yourself blaming other people for what you are not yet or what you don't yet have, I'm here to shock you to say you may be wasting your time. Mhm. You may be really wasting your time. Why do I say that? Because sometimes we assume that because we are familiar with people, we are familiar or people have helped us, they're supposed to be there. First, let's be really grateful that we have those people. But now we have that responsibility to get up each day to ask ourselves, what are we supposed to be doing? If you get up each day and ask yourself, what am I supposed to be doing? You see that you always have work to do. How many of us agree? Like there's always something you have to do. Sometimes even just to just call somebody, but there's just always something you have to do. Or if you sit and ask yourself, what can I work on about myself? You realize that there is always something you have to work on yourself. And so, with that being said, you see that the person who has to rescue you most of the time is you. Yeah, it's you. It's not another person. It's not somebody who doesn't know you or somebody who does not even know your journey. And if we all intentionally sit back to ask ourselves that, okay, where am I and what do I need to improve? There's always going to be something right. And you always see that there are some things that you weren't even thinking about, or where you were yesterday, what you were thinking about yesterday, that you thought you had to improve may change the next day, the next minute, the next second. Because life happens and things happen. You see yourself in different positions, different places, different cycles, and you still have to see, oh, what do I have to do? So, yes, we can't really underestimate the power of self discovery and development. So, it's something that I know a lot of times, as I said, for so many reasons, we tend to like, it seems I've gotten everything figured out, so let me be comfortable. And by the time you just get so busy, you realize that, hey, am I comfortable or lost? So generally, our happiness, our impact, our growth, our peace, and our network will always be dependent on what we know about ourselves. How many of us agree? That in general, our life will always be dependent on what we know about ourselves. So, by the way, if you're just joining, we encourage us as usual to make sure we share with loved one. We should not be selfish. There are some people that just need a link, and of course, I cannot share to everybody, or I may not be able to share to everybody, and I don't know the people you know. So that's the part of the job. You have distinctive network, you have your own talents, you have your own people, and yes, I may not be able to know all of them, even maybe one tenth. Thank you anyhow for those who are making the conversation active and giving the amazing feedback. So yes, the only person that can rescue you 100% is you. And let's give a big shout out to our amazing families and loved ones who go a long way to selflessly make sure that they can support us in the best way they can. It's really a blessing, and I can say, oh, everybody don't care. Some people genuinely really care and want us to be in the best positions, but sometimes they cannot do it for us, which comes back to the person who can rescue 100% is you. Sometimes, no matter how much people want to help, they may not have the resources, they may not have the skills. For example, you may have people who want you to be an engineer and you want to also be an engineer, but these people will not go through the coursework for you. You have to still decide to go through the coursework, right? They are not going to go through the sit in the classroom on your behalf, write the exams for you. No, you have to go through that. So even if you say, oh, I love the program, and they say, yes, we are here to support you, there's a maximum level people can go. So that's why sometimes I see people getting mad at people who are not able to get them to that position. And sometimes they don't understand that it's maybe because these people don't even have the means. Yes, we understand that also there are other negative parts of it, but there are people who genuinely want to help but don't have their means. Have you ever been in a situation yourself like that you really genuinely want to help somebody, but maybe let me say for example, you meet somebody or you come in contact with somebody who well, I'll give an example of a woman I shared. It was not a particular person, but it was just a scenario I created in my head. Like a woman who just lost her husband and had 4 children, and before the passing of the husband, she was a stay-at-home mom, and what can we tell the person to do, and the person is going through very difficult financial situation, and people give amazing response to that post. But using that particular scenario, the truth is, what if that woman didn't just was not just a stay-at-home mom, but she has some health complications that limits her from working? And also, maybe what if the four children just need their needs in other things, she can't even have enough time to work to make money to pay her bills. So what will you do? In that case, for me, I think start by supporting financially, then giving some ideas on way forward. So you can even give maybe some support with capital for that person to start, as opposed to just talking. Because maybe also she doesn't have that capital, she has ideas. And yes, I had amazing people share some wonderful ideas, and some empathetic human beings also said the same thing. Like, what if this person just needs a small push? It could be a moral push, it could be financial push, but a genuine push, like somebody coming. Maybe she doesn't have an idea and she have a little bit of capital or money, but she doesn't know what to do. So sometimes we can really be of help, but we ourselves don't have the ideas or we don't have the capital. So getting up each day is a blessing, and yes, if your goal is to be a better than someone, trust me, you may actually be on the wrong lane. So if your goal, getting up each day, your goal is like, I want to be better than Lucy, I want to be better than this person, trust me, you may definitely be on the wrong lane, and this conversation may not be for you. But if you are on that lane of people who know they are not perfect, but each day they have an opportunity to improve themselves, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is a conversation for you. So, as humans, we may have, of course, the opportunity to have people who tell us who we are, who truly we are, or sometimes more than what we even think we are. We also have people that would tell us who we are not on the negative side. So who tells about themselves, but on a very low level based on their imaginations and their thoughts. So my question to you, how do you discover yourself? How do you discover more about yourself? Because before we talk about development, there must be discovery. You must discover what area do you want to improve in. Because sometimes, like I've seen a lot of people who are very like knowledgeable about some things, instead of them maybe working on the strategy, they're working on getting more knowledge. And personally, I've seen myself in that position. I just want to get more knowledge instead of getting the strategy of putting what I know together. So, how many of us agree that before we talk about areas to develop ourselves, we need to definitely identify who truly we are? And my question again, how do we even discover who truly we are? Because that could be a big challenge. We may know what to do, but how to do it? How do we do it? How do you do it? Let me know, guys. By the way, let me know where everybody's watching from. How do you discover who truly you are? How do you discover the areas in your life you need to work on or you need to develop? How do we do it? How? Let me know. How do you specifically do it? How do you amazingly do it? It can be a blessing to me and maybe another person watching, or some people, not even one person watching. So, guys, feel free to share in the comment section. Nobody's biting, so it's open for everybody. I know some people are like, I'm just new here. Guys, it's a family. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. And guys, if you've not yet followed us, we encourage you to do so so that you stay connected. Like today, you can see for those who know the time, I definitely came late. So you don't miss. You have at least notification. And also, if you're busy, you can still have the notification to watch the program data in the day. So guys, let me see everybody in the comment section, please. I know some people may be cooking, but if you can, please, some people may also be driving, some people may be in noisy places, but if you can, please let me know, how do you do it? How do you make sure that, how do you identify ways you can develop yourself and how do you discover more about yourself. Share it, please, in the comment section. I love to hear everybody. I like it when it's interactive, like opposed to me just coming to talk. It's when you think you know it or that you just want to keep talking. I feel bored when I'm just talking. So I like to always hear from other people. I like to learn too. And one way we all can definitely learn is just by listening. So help us to make it easy. So guys, if you've been watching on Creative and Independent Minds, as from today we've not been streaming there. The page has some policy issues. And I think one of the reasons is because I've been streaming this program both on my profile and on that page. So what we definitely are doing now, we come live here and we share there so that we don't have those issues. Hopefully that solves the problem. So just to let our creative and independent minds know. So okay, so for me personally, guys, what I always want to do first, which is very important for me, is to contact my manufacturer because I know a lot of times we want to skip important steps, but for me, I try not to skip. First, it's exciting that I've come to realize that it's difficult to really, mostly in this it's more difficult, let me put it like that, this generation, to know who a manufacturer is and stay connected to a manufacturer. That is to me is God. Like in everything about your life, it's very important to go back to God. Like God, why do you create me? Who am I? Or what do I need to know more? What path do I want to follow? But it's very easier to go the route everybody's going. That's something I've realized recently. Like it's so easy to, for example, chase the cloud. It's so easy if you want to create content to have so many followers and hear people's opinion. It's just simply to follow the algorithm. That's what it is to follow the algorithm, what is trending at the moment, what people want to hear, what people are talking about. So as opposed to what is God saying. But I tell you, if you try both, you come to a realization of what I'm saying. If you've ever tried to just listen to what people are saying, when it doesn't go well, the same people who say go left will say, this is why I told you not to go left. When you go based on your opinion and it goes wrong, what do? You go back to the manufacturer, please help me. And you may get to a point like, oh God is not talking to me. So it's important that for us to discover ourselves, we humble ourselves to first of all ask God. And yes, hearing God is another thing that we have been talking about. It's not the topic for today. So for me, that's one of the key things. Once I know what God wants me to do in the season, in the position, the places He puts me at different times, in the environment, now it's easy for me to know that okay, in order for me to do this, these are the areas I need to work on. For example, if God puts you to be a teacher, you need to learn how to even come up with lesson plans. You need to learn how to communicate with students. So some of these things we don't just learn them maybe randomly. Some people go to school to study. So for me, that is definitely my first step is always to contact God what He wants me to do in the season. Secondly, is now taking time to reflect on how do I do it? How do I do that which He wants me to do? And of course, God is always going to give you directions on how to do it, but it's left on you to implement and strategize. So it's not always going to be easy though you're doing it the right way. As I said, mostly in this generation, it's more difficult because you may be on that lane alone, and it may take a far longer time as when if you were following the trend. So we just want to be very careful on what area we want to develop and what works for us. So that's what works for me. You need to identify what works for you. Because personally, I live a life of I don't regret. I celebrate everything and I appreciate everything. Where there's something to earn, maybe knowledge, which I earn it. Where there's something a lesson to pick, I pick. So that is life. For you to live like that, you need to really be intentional about every decision, not some decisions. So I encourage us first, we want to identify what is the best method for us to definitely discover who truly we are, where we are also is important. Where we are is not, I'm not talking about physical location, though it's important to say that. For example, you were a kid and now you may be an adult. You may also be in different area in your life, area that maybe you just want to relax and you have different things you prioritize at the moment based on what we are prioritizing in the last year. So it's very important we know where we are so that if we go out, and also it's also important to say what people say is we may not like it, but it's still good and we have the power to do what to future. So, how important is this to us? How important is discovering yourself to you? How has discovering yourself helped you? Let me know, guys, in the comment section. How has taking this algorithm or taking this time to identify what you have to develop or work on in you? How has it helped you? Let me know in the comment section. Because sometimes some of us are doing these things, but we don't even know and we don't sit back to reflect like, is it really helping me? Or is it something that I can keep doing or I can enforce? Sometimes we don't have this time to reflect. So let me know how has Adam discovering yourself and the things to work on to develop help you. Let me know in the comment section. Let's keep the comment section. Let's continue to keep the comment section busy, guys. And please let me know where we all are watching from again. If you have not yet followed us, we encourage you to do that so that you don't miss conversations like this. Of course, these are things a lot of us know, but it's just like reminders. Just like a reminder, like don't get carried, but take some time to check and don't just do because everyone is doing. Don't just do because you want to compete with someone, but do because it's what you need to work on or it's what you need for your journey. Because sometimes you can spend a lot of energy and time on things you don't need. And I know if we all are truthful to ourselves, we realize that some things that maybe we spend a lot of time at some moment. Thank you, my sister, has been a while. My sister Esther, thank you for joining. Say I am still trying to work on that. Yeah, me too. I think it's a continuous work though. It's not like a one day thing because every day you get up, you need to identify things to work on every day. Even if you're doing research and you have those specific goals and objectives, they can change based on the things you've discovered. So in reality, that is, I think we should also apply those things in our lives. Like you get up, you have objective like, okay, maybe you have a certain hypothesis that water does not affect human growth. Maybe that's your hypothesis, but by the time you start doing research on that, you realize that hey, water affects the growth of humans. So what do you have to do? You have to change your topic, or you have to. So this is why. So that is life. So that's what I'm talking about. But guys, the important thing today I want everybody to take home is the fact that it's not any other person's responsibility to discover who we are. It's not any other person's job to discover who you are or make you who you want to become. It is our responsibility. It is your responsibility. And if you have amazing like parents, their job is to guide us. Their job is not to do everything for us. Their job is to make sure that they are giving us the necessary guidance and support. So if you have that type of support, it's something to really be grateful for. But again, don't put all the work on them. Yeah, so in this topic, even if you're single or married, educated or uneducated, short or tall, black or white, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You need to discover you before you know where you fit. A lot of times we want to fit then we try to discover who we are. But the right thing to do, if you ask me, is always to discover you. The question is, have you discovered who you are? Have you discovered who you are? Because even in our career choices, you can see a lot of people, for you, they are successful. And that's why I tell people now, the most dangerous thing to say, I don't know how many people still say that, is I want to be like somebody. Because it's so dangerous, because you don't know all about any other person. You know more about you. So I think the right thing to, in fact, I believe the right thing to always say is, I want to be a better me, as opposed to I want to be like somebody. Yes, of course, there are people doing some amazing things that we up and copy from. Copying is allowed. But wanting to be like somebody, it's like you wanting to take the person's whole package and you don't know what is in the full package. Yeah. So like there are people that are used to like, oh, I would love to be like this. But then by the time I hear the people's full story, I'm like, am I sure I was going to cope what they went through or what they are going through? Am I sure I'm able to manage it? So that's why I came to learn that it's really a difficult thing to say. Because we see people at the top, but you don't know what they have taken to be at the top. You don't know what they have taken to make, what they take, what they do each day to maintain their top. So it's very important for us to really identify our own um, purpose, and also very important for us to develop ourselves. Now, talking about development, I know it may be a tricky thing. Like some people, like I don't know what to work on myself. I don't know. Like I just. The question is, are you perfect? Can you say you're perfect now? That is the first question I'll ask to those who have that difficulty. Like I don't know, I don't even know how to say I hear God or know what I have to work on. Do you think you're perfectly who you are, where you are, and how you want to be? That's the question. Let me see, everybody. Are you perfectly what you want to be, and what where you want to be? Let me make it that way. Are you perfectly what you want to be and where you want to be? Welcome in Easy FX. Thank you. So by the way, guys, let me know everybody where we are watching from. I like to know. And those who are using amazing names that are not the real, maybe you can give us your first name if or the name you prefer to be called with. So that I don't say Easy FX and maybe that's your company name. So yeah. So I like to always know that I like to network with new people every day. I just love it. And that's one thing I love about this section. It makes me to meet a lot of people from different countries. And it's just amazing. Like for me, this is one of the most relaxed thing I do during the week. I just love to talk with amazing people. That's where I meet people who are purpose driven. Those are energies. Okay, so by the way, thanks to all. I have a mom, my sister Esther, who says no. Personally, guys, I know I'm not perfect, and that also helps you. The truth is, if you know you're not perfect, it helps when people talk about your imperfection. Because sometimes some people are specialized at telling you about your weaknesses, but if you know about what they say and you know what is a lie based on their perspective, it's also easy for you to know that this way just like encouraging me to work on these. So you take it different, and also when people talk about areas that you know you're doing well, I think it should be a good reason to stay humble though, and a motivation as well to keep working. So it's always that encouragement, negative encouragement, positive encouragement. I think if you have that type of mindset, you always want to identify things to work on. So I'm going to just share a couple, and for those who are new, I'm always about mindset and development, because at the end of the day, what we get is always dependent on our value. And the value is not what people say, it's how you brand yourself. And I believe in building your brand, because even if you're a business person, the truth is what I realized. How many people agree that it's so difficult if you start a business newly to market to people who know you? How many of us agree that? By the way, I saw a post of someone, I think Cindy Nyanga, I've forgotten her name on Facebook. So she dropped a post this morning on why she does not market her products or her business or services on her WhatsApp groups, the WhatsApp groups with classmates, or her WhatsApp status, and she preferred to use Facebook, where she meet total strangers. And this is one of the importance I really want to talk about today, value. So this is because a lot of times when we are too familiar with people, those people tend to value us less. In even Jesus. So for me as a Christian, that's a very consoling thing to know that even Jesus was not respected in his hometown. So familiarity complex did not start today. So it's not a new thing. But by the way, how many people agree that when you start something new or you start a business, the first people that may turn you down may be the people who are familiar with you, and not say who know you, because those who know you very well can see those talents or those things before you even start doing them. For example, you may say today I want to become an artist, a music artist, and you've been doing biochemistry like me, and you just like say today I want to start doing music. Who are the first people who say, "Hey, get out, stupid you"? Why are you doing this? And it's not like for me, I don't always say it's bad. So it's always to understand that yes, their familiarity complex is always going to be there. And it's not always everybody will say, "Oh, get out, stupid." It's not because they say you're stupid, but just because at the moment they see that decision to be a stupid decision. And so I want to just talk today one importance about self-discovery and personal development is value. Einstein once said that you should not strive for success, but we should strive for success. My sister say, and now see the finished course. Yeah, somebody they always say in pigeon say see finish. When people think they have seen everything about you, they know everything about you. Trust me, the early days, those same people will like those people may be the reason why some people will give up. But I just want to talk about value, and today is not all about I like to talk about business, but today is not all about business because I've been challenged to it to also expand in different areas, which is something that I'm doing. There's some things I used to do like last one which I've dropped, but they were good. I learned a lot from them, and I want to do them different ways. So, with that being said, I want to talk about value. How many of us get up and work intentionally to increase our value as human beings? How many of us get up genuinely to increase our value as human beings as opposed to just be successful? Because I know it's okay. If, for example, I have personally have the goal getter mindset. Anything I do, I believe should be successful. That's what I believe. Because you are born to be the top and not the tail. So why do you get into somewhere and want to be the tail? So for me, I always have that faith that if I'm going into something, it should be to succeed. But the question is, why do we go into new things, or why do we do what we do? Is it just for success? Is it just for money, or is it also for value? So I've come to realize that the key thing in life is value. I'll use, for example, you having a service, which I can talk from now to today about my experience with that. I've been offering services. I just sat again yesterday to reflect. At times, we do things and we forget. I don't know how. How many people, like, there's some things I used to do that I don't even remember I used to do that. How many people can relate to that? So I just like this week, I remember that as from class three, I went home and asked and my parents like, "Hey, what can I be doing in my school like to sell? Why I go to class as I study?" And I started selling pens in school. Like as I'm going to school, in my bags I always have pens. So my family will buy like the packet and they give me I take to school. So from that class up to when I went to secondary school, every class I was marketing different things in school. And so for me that became something like I just love doing because of that I always had money in my hand like I didn't need to go and beg to do some basic things. Or even if I go home, I'm like, oh, I want to do this because I bring them money, I think it was easier for them to sacrifice also what they had. So when I talk about value, I'm talking about that. A lot of times, if we all agree, we want to force people to get things that we've not yet built a value. If you have a service that you start rendering, that service doesn't have, like, there are five, let me put it together, there are five people offering that same service, and the five people are all better than you. First of all, how many people that know those five people and also close to those five people would prefer to come and get it from you, who is doing it at a very lower level and who has less understanding of it? Let me know. Six of you, I mean five other people, six of you are offering the same service. Five people know better than you. What is the probability that your mutual friends will come more to you than those five people who are doing better than you? Is it high or low? Let me know. Let me know that in the comment section. So obviously it will be low. The fact that people know us, we assume, oh, you are always there for people. We want to assume that these people will promote you. There's something I've realized. People always prioritize their own needs. Every human being, even me, I have my priorities. Yes, I would love to always patronize my sister. Yes, at this moment, what she's doing may not be what I want. So when I talk about money, it's not like I don't want to promote her. Maybe this is what I want. So sometimes, and also it's sad that some cultures don't promote, um how they call it, let me say, constructive collaborations and supporting their own. Some culture naturally promote more of competition, like people wanting to be better than others. So, with that being said, even if you have to look your service, you are going to look like, what can I improve in my service? And if you decide to say, okay, this is what I offer, this is what this person offer, and you try to produce what no other person offer, even those people who don't like you, those people who believe you can't do it, they will still come to you with time. So that is why we see that at the end of the day, when you've brand yourself, like Jesus, when Jesus started performing miracles in different places, the people who said, is this not that carpenter's son, started to also call him the same name the others were calling. So I'm just saying, it doesn't matter where you have to start, but it's important to know that you are the only one who can rescue yourself. You are the only one who knows the market that is best for you. For example, if you have services, you have things you want to offer, you are the one who knows who can best help you at that moment, who can best support you. So it's important you take that responsibility. It's important we all identify, how can we increase our value? How can you increase your value as a person, even in the way you interact with people? Sometimes you may have this stranger who comes every day to promote yourself, but because it's a stranger, you treat the person anyhow because the way the person dressed, the way you talk to the person is not different the next person. And you still focus on the people who don't want to understand you. So first thing with value is importantly identifying you, which is what I said for me is a key thing. A lot of time we assume that people who are familiar with us should know us better or should promote what we are doing, but it's not always the case. It's not always the case. So value, even if somebody is coming to promote you, truly, if they are strangers, it will be based on the value you're giving. If somebody is employing you, the first reason is based on what value you're bringing to the person's company. That's the first thing. First, they'll pay us based on what value we are bringing. So even as an employee or even as an employer, if you want what you're doing to get better and more people to appreciate it, more people to promote it, be intentional to improve your value. Be intentional to not just succeed, to be the biggest. You see, a lot of times we, for example, want to brand our ideas, but if we start by branding ourselves, that works. Personally, I'm also one of those who say I have had majority when I start ideas, people who I don't even know. Sometimes people I meet the first day that really know, like understand the idea more than me even. Like even and they tend to promote me more than me going to start explaining and some people never understand it. So it's very important to understand and set also a way that you identify those who understand your vision, those who understand the idea. And these people are people that mostly in this social media generation, we are blessed to say, sometimes these are even people we don't know in person. Sometimes these are people that just saw something we post and understanding more than us who you have made the post. So being intentional about adding value is not enough, by the way. Being intentional about becoming something is not enough. By getting up each day, taking that, taking actions towards that direction will help us. Taking actions that will help increase our value will help us. So when we talk about actions that increase our value, basically what are we talking about? We're talking about actions that leads to empowerment, actions that lead to development. If, for example, you say, okay, this day I want to be intentional about my time management. That could be a big aspect that will increase your value because with time management, you know your time what. How many of us know how much our time what? How many of us know? How many of us know exactly what we need to work on now? That is a big question, right? Like sometimes we're just busy accumulating different things, but we are not even working. Sometimes we may think that all we need is money. Trust me, it's very important to have our own source of income. It's very that one cannot even it's not even something we should talk about here. It's something we should all just know. That is very important for us to have our own source of income because there are some things that you can only get with money, and there's some everybody money has eyes, ears, and nose. Everybody money has a priority. So having your own source of income doesn't mean okay you don't also have for those who are married doesn't mean okay you're not going to need help from your spouse or you're not also going to support your spouse. No, it's just that some basic things you don't need to beg. So having that part is important, but sometimes what we need has nothing to do with money. It has to do with our character. It has to do with character. How many of us agree that some of the things we need to work on to increase our value has to do with character? And character, for example, you may you may be so successful, but you look down on everybody. You may be so good at what you do, but you don't respect other people. You may be so amazing, but you're very rude. You may be very prayerful, but you don't appreciate other people's grace. You're always looking what is wrong in other people. You indirectly have made yourself a god to judge and criticize others. That's something to work on. You may be so talented, but you are not ready to collaborate. These are things that have limited a lot of us. Personally, I get up each day and I'm challenged to do a lot of things, and so I just see a lot of things I'm grateful that I learned and how they have helped me to facilitate. Like talking to people or talking to a crowd used to be a big deal. A big deal. Then I realized that if for example you're doing research, you must always for you to have grants, for you to have people ready to fund you, you must be able to present yourself. You must be able to present your findings. You must be able to attend events. And those events is the key thing is for you to present and showcase your work and your ideas and sell yourself. So at the end of the day, you see that you're forced to learn it. It's not like an option if you want to grow in that area. So if you even if you are like, okay, I want to just be on my lane. Trust me, and you want to grow while on your lane, you still have to learn how to express yourself, how to talk, how to share your idea. It may not be in a formal presentation. It may just be different gadgets. Like if you're having a service, you must know, how do I share the service with other people? How many of us have had ideas, but we don't know who to share it with or how to share it with? Have you ever been in a position that you have an idea, but you have these genuine difficulties of not genuinely knowing how to even present this idea to someone, and even how to get the right people that you need to present this idea to? Have any of us ever been in that situation? So yes, character is one of the general area that we all may definitely want to, we all intentionally, by the way, because sometimes when we talk about character, you may be so good when everything is moving well, but when things are not moving well, you may become aggressive. Like there was one seminar I attended, or last one of the seminars I attended in Houston, and there was a business seminar. One of the presenters said, "Poor people are always angry." Like poor people are always angry, and that is it. If you don't know how to manage your difficult moments, I'll not say poor people. I'll not also say, a lot of times we forget that when we talk about character, it's not always about when you're good, when you're in a good mood, but also how do you react when things don't go well, when things are not going the way you want. For example, you can be selling and nothing is going that day. Or for example, you can be in a school program and everything is suddenly difficult, or you didn't pass a course. How do you respond to those moments? How do we respond to it? Some people are good at giving up. When they try the first time, it doesn't go, they give up. That's their character. How do you work on that? Some people are just impatient. Some of us are just impatient. Like if you have amazing goals, you start working and you don't have exactly those results you expect, you give up. Some of us expect too much. And if you want to be disappointed, the secret, right, is always to expect, right? Like, expect people to do much more. You always be disappointed. You always be disappointed. So, but if you expect less and they do more, you will always be grateful. You're like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting you to do this. And that's what it is. So when you talks about character, so guys, let me know in the comment section, when it comes to character, what do we suggest, or what do we think are some other aspects with respect to character that we all can intentionally work on to improve? Even me, maybe you're talking to me. What are some of the things with character that we can work on to improve ourselves? So one of it also that I saw, there's one YouTuber, I love his content. He talks about some deep stuff. So yesterday he talked about, maybe it was a question and answer. And he asked this question, like somebody asked him, like, how do you deal with, like, I love your confidence. The person was like, I love your confidence, but how do you deal with your sense of pride? And when I saw that question, I'm like, yeah, it's too sad. You may think you're not proud, but because from his response, it was like, sometimes confidence is being, for some people's opinion, it's being seen as pride, and I can totally agree with that. Sometimes when you're confident, you're saying like mostly when you're hitting your goals, you're saying your goals with confidence. People may take it as you're proud, but it's what it is. And also when you are like having low self-esteem, people may take it as humility. So I just want to say the aspect of pride, we know ourselves, and humility, those are area like many of us want to be served. Naturally, I think as humans, we all like to be served. Welcome in, Omar. Happy to have you around. So we all want to be served. How many of us don't like to be served? But now the question is, how many of us are ready to serve? How many of us are ready to serve? So for me, that's how you can also we all can deal with pride. Like, how are you ready to be allow somebody be above you? How are you ready to be okay that somebody is doing better than you? How are you ready to really help people to be better than you? Because a lot of time we want to be at the top. We all want to be very comfortable, sit in good chairs, beautiful houses, the best of cars. But how often are we ready to leave and go to even people who are very lower than us in whatever level, junior high, maybe academically, people who are not as educated as we are? How do we relate with those people? That's how we can really also evaluate ourselves. How do we relate with people? And to be honest, this is one of the secret I've noticed with most big top business people. They identify problems and they are not proud to go to even the suburbs to humble themselves and talk with these people that need their products or services. But the people who always, let me not say always, most of the time, destroy these their amazing ideas and their humility are the ones that sit in the office, aka managers, stuff like that, who always are the proud people who don't treat the employees well, who talk to people anyhow. But genuinely, the people who they themselves come with this idea, they have this very, like you see somebody who is like doing well, he's the owner of big companies, but the way he's humble, the way he talks to you, and even the way the manager of that company or one of the managers in that company talk to you is different. So this is to say pride sometimes is something that limits us. Also, sometimes we can know that okay, we have areas we want to improve in value, but we know we cannot do it on our own. How many of us are ready to go to someone else to say, okay, please, can you help me with this angle? It's something that personally I didn't used to know, but it's something I'm intentionally learning how to do. Like knowing those who are better in areas that I'm working on. And so that's why for me now, mentorship is essential. It's not optional, it's essential. So identifying who is ready, who is on my same journey, who is ahead, who has the same goals, because so people have different priorities. For me, my priority order is important, very important, because I don't want to find myself lost in the wrong place. So very important that we identify that even those characters, sometimes just the way you respond to people, those are areas that we can work on, right? So again, let's know in the comment section in regards to character, what are some areas that mostly in this generation? Also, another thing is self-control. That one is very important to talk about. When we talk about increasing our value, we want to really know how to manage our emotions. Let our emotions not manage us. A lot of time I see people in this time, like you get angry, you just put your camera and you say anything. You're happy, you just announce everything. There should be some level of control. Like it's not everything that have to be said, even if we want to use it to cash out. But the truth is, not everything has to be shared with everybody. And being able to respect those boundaries for yourself gives you more value. But being if you give full access to everyone, trust me, everyone can see and do everything. And that is a simple way to reduce your value and your worth, leaving it to people's opinion. And at the end of the day, most of the people who do that, we always see them crying. So we want to be very intentional to know that one way to maintain our worth is to what they call it, staff people from some important and yet personal informations. So we want to be very intentional on what we are marketing, what we are sharing, what we want to 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 have people's opinion on. So self-control is very important. And another thing that definitely we all want to intentionally work on, as I said today, one important with this video, if you didn't get anything, is being intentional about increasing your value, and you never go wrong with this. If you have a value, you make yourself very valuable. Anywhere you find yourself, you always have alternatives. You will always have alternative. In the absence of this, you have things you can manage. So, but if you don't have any value, you will have to be controlled by anybody also. If you don't have value, you'll be controlled by anybody at any time, anyway. So one way we all can really, really keep our values or stay on our lane is to make sure we keep improving our value. And one important aspect again in this personal development and discovering is gathering more information. One piece of information can change our entire lives. One piece of information. Do we all agree? Like one piece of information can change your entire direction of life. The way you do everything, not one thing, just one new information. So let's be also very intentional, being intentional about learning. That's why even if you've read the Bible, for example, from page one to the ending, it's going to be very stupid for you to say you no longer read the Bible because you've read everything. Then you don't understand what the Bible is. If it's about yourself, if you say, no, I'm not going to take time to keep reflecting about me, to keep evaluating myself, and I'm perfect, I know it all, then you're not ready to grow. Is also you're not ready to improve your value, you're not ready to stay relevant because you change every day. So gathering more information about yourself is very important. Also, gathering more information about a journey. Your journey may not be the same as my journey. Sometimes from where you are, based on the one person that is good about another person can say, oh, I want to be about this way. But the person is struggling with what you have for free. That's life. Some people only problem is money. Some people problem is, of course, just genuine friends and family. Some people don't have family members that they can really trust. That's what some people have. So some people don't even have people that they can confide in. And some of us have it for free. Some people don't have like a home that they can sleep and just be at peace. They are in their own home, but they are scared. So some people also don't have happiness. They're not happy. They don't know why. But they basically have everything you need. So life is about understanding your own journey, and the more knowledge you have about your understanding about your own journey. So for me personally, one thing I really enjoy about this journey of being intentional about discovering more about yourself and areas you have to develop is peace. Ordinary success is peace. Like they say, peace are even things are not going the way you plan it. Sometimes you can plan, like me, I plan things 6 months ahead, but the truth is, it doesn't always go as you plan. But what do you do? Do you want to kill yourself? So how I stay calm as opposed to when I just want to get the goals, I just want to succeed in what I'm doing, is what I can't explain, but it's something that makes me to understand that there's really a lot more that we can't even explain when it comes to you identifying yourself and being grateful with each of the journey. I mean, each step in your journey. Contentment is another powerful tool to stay valuable. Contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you don't work hard, just mean you're grateful where you are and you also appreciate your journey, how far you've traveled, where you are, what is happening at the moment, but you're still working to be where you want to be, as opposed to you just want to get where you are going to first before you be happy. And when you get there, you want to get to the next place first, so you keep postponing your happiness. So be contented is very, 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 very important, but not too comfortable. Sometimes we can get contented and too comfortable, and that is the limitation. That is the limitation. So also another thing is mostly in this generation is skills. Improving your skills will always keep you relevant. So guys, let me ask, how many new skills have we all can we say we've at least learned this year? You don't need to tell us the skill, let's just know in the comment section. How many new skills have you learned this year and how did it help you? Let's know in the comment section. Because that's when it comes to value, also that is an angle I like to talk about mostly when it comes to women, and that's one of the things I really, really want to do more. As the older I get, that's one area I really want to talk about, the importance of knowledge and skills. So knowledge, of course, guide us in everything we do. As I said, one piece of information can change everything. So guys, let me know in the comment section, like, how many new skills have you learned this year or up to this time of this year, and how have they helped you? Let's know in the comment section. So, talking about knowledge and skills, one thing I've learned personally this year, it's simply about how the social media algorithm works. How the social media algorithm works. And now it makes me to really understand why some people choose to do whatever is trending. So I wasn't understanding why someone would get up in the morning to insult another person, but those are the things trending. Why someone will get up, abandon his or her life, and just talk about to bring down another person. But now I get it. We live in a time that the algorithm can take us in any direction. As far as it's bringing traffic, you're bringing traffic. So that's something I'm happy I've learned. And also, by the way, you can use it positively. So you can use it positively to advertise your ideas. You can use it positively to also brand yourself, personal branding. So like that's the reason that I always tell people that for this generation, if you understand the algorithm, the way it works, you can definitely dedicate time to be your own. For most people, those who I've seen a lot of people, by the way, who had bad contracts and the consequences of that contract, some of them ended their life. And there's no need for that in this generation. So I will not wait for somebody to pass and I like, no. So it's very important to say we are so much blessed this generation that we have so many things we can do to to avoid some unnecessary situation. So you can use the algorithm to burn yourself. You can use the algorithm to build from scratch without you running to look for sponsors, without you hitting everybody. Hello, welcome in, Franklin. Oh, so we all have that privilege now. That's something that, like, that is an example of something that, like, I tell people that if you take time to understand it, you will not see the social media, for example, in a total negative direction as a lot of people see it. Oh, TikTok is bad, Facebook is bad, YouTube is bad, it destroys children. But you can also say, how can children use it to learn about some things that you, how can you use it to learn what you're doing? So for me, that is a powerful one. Another thing, definitely, I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't like it at all. I used to just forward, but each day to do different things. You see, you can use CapCut. You can use different apps, and you do things that people needed to program. So that is something I really love. Like if you want to really produce videos, you can just, and it's something you can do for fun. I've seen a lot of people say, I just sit and do video editing for fun, or I do live sessions for fun. So whatever makes you happy. And that's something so powerful about self-development, identifying what makes you happy. What makes another person happy may not be what makes you happy. So being able to identify those areas that, or those things that makes us happy is very important. So knowledge and skills are things that we all definitely can keep to make your life easy. I had to learn how to do the basic when it comes to health, breathing, which I'm happy that saves me a lot of time and a lot of stress. So you can also look skills at things that you want to do, like maybe things you want to do for Saturdays. It could be baking. Ladies like to bake. So I like to bake new things. So that's another thing. I've always wanted to know how to do donut, and I'm happy I achieved that. Yeah, not. So acquiring new skills doesn't necessarily be, it's not going to be all about success. It could be also just about your happiness, things that you want to really just do for fun. So Definitely, I know I'm not going to talk about everything. So value also another thing we want to be intentional about is strategy. If you the strategy you plan to use and work, what do you do? Let me know. Do you give up? Do you start insulting everyone who did not help you, or do you re-strategize? For me, the goal is re-strategize. And of course, you don't go maybe you may have to recruit new people. Maybe you need to collaborate with other people. Just re-strategize. So look what works for you. So of course, if we all get up and we know that we are not perfect, it's really a powerful thing. The goal on earth is not to be perfect, but is to progress from where you are. A lot of times we've made ourselves competitors for each other instead of complimenting each other, we tend to compete. So at the end, we see ourselves working so hard to be perfect, more than this person, more than Lucy. You're wasting your time. Why? What's the need for? It came as dust, and dust you shall go. Who care how the color of the dust when you're working on it? How many of us check what is the color of this dust before you work on it? When you work, how many of us look what is the color of the ground before you trample on it? So who cares? So at the end of the day, it's not about perfection. Tell yourself the truth and be a blessing, is what I always say. At the end of the day, it's about progress. Where were you? Where are you going? And where are you now? That will always help you to know what to add, who to add. But if you don't know where you're going, trust me, it's even dangerous because you may be doing everything but not doing anything related to what you're supposed to do. But yet you are so busy working so hard. Oh yeah, I need to get to that too. My mama said for now he's learning a new language, which is a good thing. Communication is definitely one of the skills we all definitely will have to keep learning on how to communicate with people. And different environments may need us to speak different languages. For example, if you're in Canada in a community where everybody's speaking French, it may not be a choice if you really want to associate with people better. You will have to learn French, if not at least to be very proficient, and at least for the basic communication, just to make the environment more friendly for you. Or else you'll be lost, like you'll be feeling like people are gossiping you all the time. Or you come to an environment like mine that nearly everyone is speaking Spanish. You don't have to feel bad. You just have to get into the space of learning how to speak Spanish. That's what it is. So sometimes I see people envying people who are doing what they can do. There's no need. There's no need. If you have somebody who is doing what you can do and you want to do, the key thing is to learn. So that's what I said. It's about progress. It's not about perfection. You don't need to do it like that person, but you have to learn to the level that you can and that you need. Because also, like now, learning some languages for me that I don't need. At first, I really wanted to learn German, for example, but if I'm never going to use the German language for any reason, at this moment, I don't need it. Yeah, I don't. So, and I don't have that time. So, we all definitely want to be intentional. So, as I said again, I want to leave and this session, by the way, ending it now, that we should never underestimate the power of self-development. It doesn't matter if you're married or you're a woman or you're a child now, the things we learn, because if we all are genuine, we take time to look back the things we learn from our different homes. Some of those things we see people who are adults struggling with them, right? Some of those things we learn also maybe in high school, in primary school. You see some people struggling like with the topic like algebra. You see people suffer with basic interest. But these are things that some people it was easy they understood in primary. Some people didn't have this opportunity to go to study these things. So we should not take personal development, self-discovery and personal development for granted. We should not underestimate its power. It can take us to places we can't imagine. Life is not just limited to what we do daily. Like wherever you find yourself, even as a sources of income, there are some things I can, for example, easily do some things I know some people have challenges, and I know that people can also do some things that have challenges in. So let's not take the things we are learning for granted. Let's be very intentional to build. Even if you say, oh, maybe I'm a stay home mom, take look the skills maybe you can learn from home. Don't assume that, oh, maybe because my husband is here providing, my husband will keep providing. Yes, look for a way that even though your husband is providing, how can you also support? Even still, if you want to stay home, because I say this a lot with women, because I've seen a lot of people that were at very good position, but maybe after divorce or after marriage and their life went so sad. For me, some people will use that as people's predicaments to laugh. For me, it's a challenge you encourage. It's a challenge. I know somebody may also be in that same situation, but I've also seen women that have gotten that unfortunate situation, but because they were developed, they even became better people. More because they have more time to do their own things with less restriction. So at the end of the day, what people pay us, how people value us, is also depend on the value we have created for ourselves. So I just want to encourage everybody that no matter where you are, be encouraged to continuously invest in you. Investing in you will always help you. It must not just be financially, it can also be in the way the network you are going to be. It's often said your network is your network. So intentionally, one intentional way to build a good network is to create value. Like when good people, somebody said, when good people come together, they talk about ideas. But when small people come together, they talk about people, and that's something I love about business. Meeting people who are ready to talk about ideas. How can we make this better? How can we make our community better? How can we make sure that we don't retire like these other people? How can we make sure that we retire better? How can we make sure that we don't repeat this particular mistake? So, how do you connect with those people? Start from you. What do you think? How you think depend on what you know, and what you know can obviously change. So we all can definitely start today by improving what we know, and be intentional to improve what we know and how we use what we know. Because some people know too much but do nothing. So knowing too much and doing nothing in the direction you want to be is as well as knowing nothing. So I encourage every one of us that as we know, let's also improve in the skills we need. So ask yourself, what skills do I need? If you can write it on the comment section, not to forget, write it somewhere down this moment. What skills do I need to work on? And also, don't just work on the skills, but be applying them anywhere you can. Because I think for me, that's something I wish I knew earlier. Like it's not just accumulating those skills, those certificates, but applying them as you go. As you learn how to do this, applying them. Because at the end of the day, practice is what makes that big difference. You can know how to deal with people, but if you avoid dealing with people, how do you know that people have different personalities? How do you learn how to deal with these different personalities? If you don't learn how to do how to cook or practice how to cook, how will you perfect your cooking? So whatever thing you want to really learn or you want to really know, practice is important. You can watch a YouTube video, yes, they tell you amazingly how to advertise your product, your service on Facebook. But trust me, knowing it and doing it are two different things. But when you come to do it, it may not go. So practicing it, you identify the things you may have to outside of that video based on your own position. You may not be in the same country that person who shot the video. You may not have the same identification document like that person. So what do you do? So based on that, if you start, you're definitely going to identify those things. So by the way, thank you all who joined us today for this powerful session. We hope we all have something to take home. This is just a reminder that we all are works in progress. And yes, sometimes we may think we are not enough, but when you sit back and check where you were, at least that's a good encouragement. It's okay, as far as I'm thinking, as far as I have this, then I can do more. So hope we all are going home or taking time to write down just those things we may want to improve on to increase our value and stay relevant. So each day, let's make it repeat these steps. Get up, meditate, pray, and identify what you need to work on that day. And trust me, you will see that your value will keep increasing, and you have more joy in you, more peace, because you are doing what you like and you're getting the results. Because also, as I said, you may see that what I'm doing can give me this, but it cannot give me Z. You still need to look what can I need to do to add to Z. And don't be afraid to start all over if you have to. Don't be afraid to always strategize when you need to, because most of the great people will know failed so many times more than you can even imagine. But what makes them who they are to why we celebrate it is because they just didn't give up. They kept fighting, they kept looking for better ways. So we all can do the same. Stay blessed and have a blessed and lovely weekend.